let's go ahead and try and put some flesh on what it means to be a peacemaker. Hey, I'm Father Mark Mary with the Franciscan Friars of the Renewal. And this is Ascension Presents. Blessed are the Peacemakers, right? It's one of the Beatitudes. Sometimes they're a little bit abstract, and it's kind of hard to understand like totally the application. Peacemakers, I think sometimes we're gonna kind of feel like maybe we have a sense of it, but I kind of want to get like pretty focused on one component of what it means to be a peacemaker, and ways in which we are very, very much like invited and able to do this, probably on a very, very regular basis. And this is going to be a great way to enter more deeply into Lent, right? What I want to talk about is being a peacemaker as kind of like the one who like breaks the cycle and or kind of like stops the escalation. We see this particularly, I think, online. I'm not going to focus on online. Or maybe it happens like you're in an email exchange with somebody and you send them a message and like they kind of misinterpret it. And so they come back with something kind of like hard and snarky. And then you're like offended and then you come back at them and they come back at you. And it just keeps going until there's like this great divide, right? And the peacemaker, the one who's going to, if you will, like kind of stop the escalation, is going to be the one who either like receives it, doesn't respond, offers the grace, and is like, okay, there's some miscommunication. I'm going to take like what we call like the higher road, or generally it's actually the lower road, the humble road, right? And I'm going to own something, and we're going to kind of like ease it. Or maybe it's like, oh, I realize we're not connecting, and instead of snapping back and kind of like feeling good that I like zinged them with something or whatever, like, hold on, like maybe I'll give you a call, like, hey bro, I realize, I'm sorry. I think what I just said, maybe like, I'm sorry, like how like it hit you, and I didn't mean that. That's like, I'm really, really sorry. That's my fault. How are you doing? Can we just kind of work through this real quick, right? And we have so many opportunities and ways to do this. And the Christian, right, according to the Beatitudes, right, is the one who does this. It's not always because it's like, I'm gonna bite the bullet because I'm the one who did something wrong. Maybe the other person's off or they're misunderstanding it. But like, let's go there and let's be the peacemaker. And here are some examples. Here are some ways we can practice this this Lent, this week, and kind of our whole lives. The first one that certainly comes to mind is in like a context of gossip or complaining, right? And I'm sure you've all had this experience where it's like, we're all gonna get together and complain about our coworker. We're all gonna get together and complain about our boss or about our neighbor or whatever, our spouses or whatever. And as soon as one person is like, coworker Brian, like honestly, he's like a really good guy. And he's just, did you see how generous he was with this? Or you say, but our boss, like, when I go to him and I have a problem, like he just stops everything and receives me. Or it's like when, this person or that person, like she just has all of these great qualities. Like as soon as somebody doesn't enter into like the gossip, but they say something nice, all of a sudden, everyone sort of like looks in the mirror real quick, they see what they're doing, and almost always, like it just stops. Blessed are the peacemakers. Blessed are the people who say something nice in the midst of a gossip sesh. The second one might be something you experience living as a family, husband, wife, living with your kids. It might be something if you have roommates. It might be something even, again, like at the work situation, wherever there's a shared space. And I think a great example would be like, okay, some people just aren't doing their dishes. They're not doing the dishes, not putting away, or they're not taking out the trash, right? And there's like a bickering and there can be a back and forth. And it's like, you know what? I'm just gonna go. It's not my job or whatever it is. And I'm gonna take out the trash. And I'm gonna take out the trash, whatever it is, for the next 2 weeks. I'm just gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna put an end to this thing and I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna be the one who does it. I'm gonna keep doing the dishes. I'm gonna be the one who goes and whatever, turns off the lights. Like fine, I'm just gonna go and do that. It kind of stops this culture of like counting and of like, well, who's doing this, who's doing that? It's like, there's just something about that of like, okay, this person is just like doing it, which again, like, it often diffuses the situation. Certainly are there contexts and situations where that's not going to work, sure. But even for yourself, like it's like if you kind of stop playing the game of like, I'm going to try and like maneuver and wrestle and count and keep score, and you're just like, I'm just going to do it. At least for yourself, often what you're going to receive in that is the gift of peace. So that's one. And then another one would just be like, I think with like, I see it all the time with brothers, and either like asking for forgiveness or being super generous. We always have like this inclination towards suspicion. And we have this inclination, particularly in our relationships, like to keep score. And so it's like, if this person does this thing, like they get this mean word, I'm going to respond with another word and they're going to come back. Or this person took this vacation, or this person took this liberty, so I'm going to take one. Or they didn't do this job, so I'm not, and that just, discipleship in Christian community can't be reduced to like business. And I feel like there's like this the economy of like, well, you did this, I did that. So it's like there is certainly justice, but also like what's really going to keep us together is having like mercy and generosity and forgiveness and patience fill the gap, which is being a peacemaker, is to fill the gap as Jesus filled the gap, and to stop the counting game, right? Like Jesus, when he comes and he dies for us, it's like the whole debt is, you guys messed this up, I'm going to come pay the debt. And so to live and to love like Jesus is to pay the debt. To live and to love like Jesus is to fill the gap. To live and to love like Jesus is to be the peacemaker. And so it's like, you know what? Like, someone needs to get up to visit the kids again. All right, like I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna keep taking it. Somebody needs to wake up early in community to do an airport run. Like, I'm gonna do it. We know that there's like some tension in the house. So you know what? When we get together, I'm just gonna get together and I'm just gonna apologize. I'm not going to ask for anyone else or anything of anyone else. I'm just going to apologize for what I did wrong. And like what often happens is one person opens the door to mercy by being humble and being transparent and apologizing. Everybody else is like, hey, you know what? Like, you're right. Like, I was playing this game too. I'm sorry. We want our discipleship. We want our discipline. We want our Lenten practices to be geared towards charity, to living and to loving like Jesus. And I think a really beautiful way to do this, and a very, very concrete way to do this, is to be a peacemaker, is to fill the gap, to pay the debt like Jesus did. And so let's look for an opportunity in our family. Let's look for an opportunity with our roommates, with our coworkers, as a way that we can be the one who just kind of like ends the escalation, says like, puts down our swords, like, we're not playing this game, we're not counting, and like, let's just bring everybody back and focus everybody on what it means to be a community, and for us to really to be Christ and to represent Christ in the world, which is our call and our dignity as baptized Christians. All right, thanks everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, we are pilgrims on this earth. Somos peregrinos, poco a poco, little by little. Vamos a llegar. We're gonna make it. See y'all. I can't read what I'm writing.